Hey everybody, Max coming here. It's Little Cute Podcast, not too long. Oh well, I had a fun morning this morning. I'm off today because my university is like some like cosmic festival or something. I don't know. I don't know if they're dressing up like the constellations, and black holes and quasars. Like it's we're the cosmos. Anyway, so today's my day. Today's the day off, and but of course, I would rather work today, but in place of this day off, I have to work a Saturday. I have to work Christmas Eve, December 24th. That's the replacement day for today's a day off. It's like, hey man, nobody cares about your university's cosmic festival, okay? You know what pretty much every single teacher that works at your university cares about? Christmas Eve. Saturday, Christmas Eve, kind of want that day off, especially because it's a Saturday. Also Christmas Eve, I don't know, maybe think about all your teachers. Every single one of them that, is not Asian. I guess this university, they do have some other, they try to have a diverse group of English teachers, so it's not just all white people, okay? We got English speakers from a bunch of other countries, Anyway, so today's off. Today's my day off, so this morning, after I wake up, I try to go get some sunlight, That's what Dr. Huberman told me to do. It's like when you wake up, gotta get some sunlight so you can wake up. Don't be a fat, lazy fuck, all right? Your brain wants some goddamn sunlight in your eyes. Yeah, so I've been doing that. It really does wake you up, Spend 5-10 minutes out there in the sunlight, and that morning grogginess just kind of goes away. So I've been doing that a lot recently, just going straight outside right after I wake up, get that sunlight in my eyes. Get that sunlight in my... You guys hear about the people sunbathing their taint? It's supposed to give you some magical powers. Magical farting powers if you sunbathe your taint, or your balls or something like that. But I don't want to get arrested, so I'm not going to be doing that, Anyway, so I go outside with Zoro, because Zoro's in the cage. So it's like, okay, Zoro, let's go outside. Let's go run around in our little yard there, So Zoro's going outside, and he's like starts attacking the grass. He starts biting the grass and eating the grass. I'm like, all right, Zoro, don't do that, And then he starts like eating the dirt. I'm like, all right, Zoro, stop eating the dirt, He's like eating rocks. He's got a bunch of rocks in his mouth. All right, I'm like, all right, Zoro, you're a goddamn idiot. Why are you eating rocks? So anyway, then a couple hours later, he pukes. He's like, oh, I don't feel so good. And he pukes up the rocks that he ate. I'm like, all right, well, Zoro, this is the third time you've puked from eating rocks. So maybe it's time to learn that you shouldn't be eating rocks, you big dum-dum. Anyway, pugs are stupid, I guess. And when my lady friend, we were kind of debating like which dog to get. We were looking at this like it's like terrier mix, and but that one, like, it was kind of a pain in the ass to get. It was like they wanted us to take allergy tests and stuff, like these $500 allergy tests, And then of course Zoro, they didn't care. They're just like, oh, we want to get rid of them. I'm like, okay, we'll take that one, So we ended up getting Zoro, but I kind of feel like we should have gotten a smarter dog, like maybe like a poodle mix. Poodles are pretty smart, Anyway, Zoro's dumb. He likes to eat rocks and then puke, So that's my morning. That's what I've been doing today, just hanging out, I was watching the Chargers game, Chargers 49ers there. What was interesting about that, the Herbert, the quarterback there, he does a little run there, and then he gets hit. And there's some helmet-to-helmet contact, right? And it was clearly not intentional. Like, the guy going to tackle him, he just does like a regular tackle, but like a half second before that, Herbert gets hit by someone else, and so the angle of his head like makes their helmets knock into each other. It was a total accident, like not intentional at all. But the 49ers guy, he gets kicked out of the game. They give him an unnecessary roughness, and then he's kicked out of the game forever. It's like, later, bro, you can't play anymore. Oh, you accidentally hit, and then they make Herbert get out too, because like he's got helmet-to-helmet contacts. Like, oh, you might have gotten a concussion. Got to have the doctor check you out. You're out of the game. Or he wasn't out of the game, but like it was like pending medical review. I don't know how long that's supposed to take. I mean, this was like right before the half, so it's like I guess maybe he got cleared in the halftime. But like if there was no halftime, like how long would it take them to clear him? I don't know. Like how long was he supposed to be out of the game? So I don't know. I mean, I guess they're getting super serious here. They're getting super serious here about the rules there, which is I think it's a good thing. It's probably a good thing for the players, good thing for their health, But I don't know. Maybe that 49ers guy probably shouldn't have gotten kicked out for like accidentally. It was totally accidental. I don't know, dude. Yeah, but anyway, that was an interesting thing that they're changing the rules there. And then of course the backup quarterback for the Chargers, he comes in. This guy, he throws like 3 passes that are way over the head of the receivers. This guy is the fucking worst. He's the worst quarterback. This is their backup. It's like, holy shit, dude. I mean, where's my Matt Castle backup? That was the guy who backed up for Tom Brady, right? Remember that one year Tom Brady got injured and then Matt Castle led him to the playoffs? You know? That's what the Chargers need. God, their backup quarterback's fucking terrible. Holy shit, dude. Couldn't believe how bad that guy's passes were. So anyway, hopefully Herbert doesn't get injured, because if they do, the Chargers are fucked. You know. Anyway, they ended up losing the game. They ended up losing the game because their defense sucks and their offense kind of sucks too. Yeah, there was a lot of hype coming into the season here, but I guess their defensive stars got injured. So maybe next year. Maybe next year, anyway, let's go to the UFC. Let's go to the UFC. That's the title of this episode, If you guys made it this far, 5 minutes in, you're like, oh my God, when's this guy going to start talking about the UFC? That's the title of this episode. That's why I tuned in. That's all I care about is the UFC. He's been talking about his dog puking for 5 minutes. God, I'm going to turn this thing off. I'm never telling my friends about it. It's only okay. I'm going to talk about the UFC. Let's just start at the bottom. Start at the bottom. Not even the early prelims. Oh yeah, early prelims. We had Carolina Kowalski. Big Six versus Savannah Gomez Juarez, and of course, knowing nothing at all about these two women, I put $5 on Carolina because Savannah Juarez, Gomez, Perez, Martinez. She had like double D breast implants, right? And of course, those are each got to be like 1 or 2 pounds, right? So that's like 3 or 4 pounds. That's like 3 or 4 pounds of muscle mass she's given away to her opponent there. So based on nothing other than the double D breast implant she has, I bet on the other girl to win, and the other girl won. I didn't even watch that fight, though. Early prelims are boring, anyway, so then let's go to the regular prelims. These ones had some good fights. Of course, there was Erin Blanchfield versus Molly McCann. And of course, Molly McCann, she's friends with Patty Pimplebutt, the guy that's got a mop on his head, so she's got some hype behind her, And just because she was plus 300, I put $5 on her. I'm like, why not? She's got hype. She's friend with Patty Pimplebutt, maybe she can pull off a miracle here. But holy shit, man, I haven't watched this girl, Erin Blanchfield. Holy shit, dude. She just beat the shit. It wasn't even close, man. That was a beatdown, like plus 300. That was giving her too much. It should have been like plus 1,000. This Erin Blanchfield chick, holy guacamole, this chick's good, man. She totally dominated. It wasn't even close, dude. She just destroyed Molly McCann. She got her in this crucifix and just elbowing her head. Oh man, and she didn't submit or tap out, and the ref didn't stop it. So she's like, oh, okay, well, I'm sick of elbowing you in the head. I think I'll just get you a little arm bar there. Yeah, she put on this what is it called, like a kimura, where you got the arm behind the back, and that looked fucking painful. Holy guacamole, this girl Erin Blanchfield, she looks like a hot commodity, man. I think I got to watch this chick. She's only like 23 or 26 or something. She's still young too. That's what's exciting about this girl. She's so good and so young. Maybe I gotta keep watching this girl, Erin Blanchfield. Then of course we had Dominic Reyes versus Ryan Spann, and of course I bet on Dominic Reyes because Ryan Spann sucks. But of course I said in the last podcast I was a little worried about Dominic Reyes, because he got knocked out in those last 2 fights, and that kind of slows you down and also makes you get knocked out more easily. So I kind of wondered what. I mean, he probably is the better fighter, but I was worried about his chin, and I was right about that. My worries should have allowed me to bet on Ryan Spann, because holy guacamole, Dominic Reyes, he looked awful. He looked super slow. He looked super slow, and just his strategy was stupid. He just kept throwing these kicks, and every time he threw a kick, he would get jabbed, and it's like he'd just throw another kick. It's like, hey man, you just been jabbed 4 times in a row. Every time you throw a kick, maybe don't throw a kick, Maybe don't do that same kick. I don't know what your plan was, but stop doing that. So anyway, he got knocked out with a jab from Ryan Spann, which I don't think I can't remember though. I mean, the last time I can remember something like that happening is Kamaru Usman versus what's his name, the Brazilian guy. He knocked him down with a jab, but he didn't knock him out. But Dominic Reyes, he got knocked out with a jab, which pretty much almost never happens. But of course, Ryan Spann, he's not that good. But, during his interview with Joe Rogan there, he's like, yeah, I actually trained for this fight. And Joe Rogan's like, what? You don't train? He's like, no, not really. I'm a professional fighter, but I don't train at all. This is the first time I trained. And Joe's like, oh, okay, well, hopefully you'll keep training. And, yeah, me too. I mean, what can this guy do? If he's serious, if he seriously never trained, before, and like he just started training for that fight. It kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know if you guys are fans of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, but of course Goku he goes Super Saiyan and he defeats Frieza in the original Dragon Ball Z, and then of course in Dragon Ball Super, Frieza comes back, and the god of destruction over there, he's like, what's wrong with Frieza? He's supposed to be the most powerful, and then Frieza's like, yeah, I should be the most powerful. How come I'm not most powerful? It's like, oh yeah, because I didn't train, right? So then Frieza starts training, and Frieza becomes Golden Frieza, right? And then he's just as powerful as blue hair Goku, Of course, if you never watched Dragon Ball, you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about right now. But if you do watch Dragon Ball, you know exactly what I'm talking about right now, So basically, the main villain in this anime series, he was the strongest warrior ever, but he never trained, And then he got defeated, so then he decided to train, and then he becomes super powerful, So I wonder if Ryan Span, he's doing that. I'm going to start calling him Frieza. Ryan Golden Frieza Span. See what you can do, dude. Maybe you can become champion if you actually train, dude. Jesus. Start training. Become Golden Frieza. Yeah, then of course we had Brad Riddell versus Renato Moicano. Renato Caramel Mocha Macchiato Moicano. That guy's Italian, right? He's got to be Italian, right? Yeah. Renato Caramel Mocha Frappuccino Macchiato Pumpkin Spice. Anyway, I wanted to bet on him, but I didn't. I don't know why. Because I should have, because he's pretty good. He's had some tough fights. Who did he lose to recently? Yeah, he lost to Dos Anjos. That was a good fight, but yeah, he's decent. He's a top 10 guy. That's where he belongs. Anyway, I should have bet on him. Oh well, maybe next time. Okay, let's go to the main card, man. Now this main card, this is probably one of the best. Every fight was exciting, man. Every fight, yeah, there was no decisions, man. Every fight was great, dude. Every fight was fun to watch. Every fight was interesting, One of the best cards in a long time. Because that first fight, Dan the Prostitute Hooker versus Claudio Puelles, I bet on Claudio, because I didn't know anything about him. Maybe I should have done some research, because apparently all that guy likes to do is leg locks. He doesn't know how to punch. He doesn't know how to wrestle. All he knows how to do is do a leg lock. That's like his whole thing there. And of course, he did a iminare roll, which is like a type of sushi, but that's where you like roll on the ground and grab the person's leg. And he did that in the first round, and he grabs Dan Hooker's leg. He almost gets the leg lock, but then Hooker gets out of it, right? And then he just keeps trying to do that same thing the whole fight. He's just rolling on the ground trying to grab his leg. It's like, hey, dude, all right, it kind of worked the first time, but then he did it 8 more times and it didn't work. So maybe, I don't know, maybe try something else. I guess he did try like punching, but then Dan Hooker's striking is much better, so he just got punched in the face a bunch of times. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever played this game called Soul Calibur, but there's this character called Voldo who rolls around on the ground. And that's kind of what reminded me of this guy, like Claudio Puelles. He was fighting like Voldo. He was just on the ground. He kept purposely falling on the ground and like trying to kick Dan Hooker in the leg. It's like, hey, dude, you can't do that. And eventually the ref got sick of it and just gave him a TKO. It's like, hey, man, you keep falling on the ground, so you're out. Game's over. You lose. Yeah, Dan Hooker had some dirty kicks to his body, man. Those must have hurt. And of course, Frankie Edgar, who should have retired a long time ago. God, that knee. Oh my God, he just took that knee to the head, knocked him out. That was brutal, dude. That was brutal. Oh God, Frankie Edgar. Good thing it was his last fight. I should have retired 5 fights ago. Oh Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, I bet on Chris Gutierrez as part of my parlay. So. Yeah, I was glad that going. Okay, and then Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. Man, what a fight that was. That was a great fight, man. That first round's got to be one of the best rounds I've ever seen. Michael Chandler, he just goes berserker mode. Dustin Poirier, he's almost out. He's hitting with these shots, these hard shots. Dustin Poirier's out for like a half second. He could barely stand. He's weathering the storm. And Michael Chandler he empties the tank, empties the gas tank. You can tell he's gassed, right? He just gave everything he got. And Dustin Poirier, he almost got knocked out, man. He almost got knocked out. It looked very close to being like if one more of those strikes could have hit, Like that was the thing, Michael Chandler, if he had just like a little bit more accuracy, or like during those, like I guess when he's in the cage there, it must be such an adrenaline dump. You land one punch, and the guy, like, loses consciousness a little bit, and so you kind of go crazy, try to knock him out again. But like a lot of his punches that he threw missed, like he probably hit him like 3 or 4 times with some clean shots, but there were probably like 5, 6, 7 more times that he missed that could have landed if like he just took like a little, a tenth of a second more time to like make them accurate, and yeah, so he did knock him out, and then he's all tired, and then you can tell he's tired, and then Dustin Poirier is like looking at him like, oh, that's all you got? Oh, my gas tank's still full, It's totally like a rope-a-dope moment, like fucking Muhammad Ali there, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman moment. It's like George Foreman gets punched out, and Muhammad Ali's, you're tired, huh? Well, later, bro. Take the bus back, Dustin Poirier's like, oh, you got nothing left, huh? You're a little tired, boy, huh? Well, you didn't knock me out. Time to smash your face. And then Dustin Poirier, he just goes crazy too, man. He's got that superior cardio. He just starts swanging and banging too. And Dustin Poirier, he's doing what Michael Chandler should have done, is like just take that extra tenth of a second to make sure your punches land, Don't go crazy. He's choosing his shots, And holy guacamole, he almost knocked out Michael Chandler too. Michael Chandler there got saved by the bell, He got saved by the bell in that first round there, and then of course in the second round, that was amazing too. Is Chandler kind of realized that he didn't have any energy left, so that second round he immediately goes for the takedown. Then he comes, and he's in that whole second round on top basically, so he wins that second round. So then the third round's coming up. It's like you don't know who's going to win. I mean, Michael Chandler almost got knocked out, but he won that second round with wrestling. What's going to happen? What's going to happen, dude? What's going to happen, bro? Then he was still just way too tired, man. Even in that third round, he was way too tired. So Dustin Poirier was like, well, I got the cardio. And you're still tired, even though you won that second round. It's clear you're very, very tired now. So he starts swinging and banging, gets him on the ground again. He's doing the ground and pound. You could tell, like, Michael Chandler, he's trying to fight the submission, but he's just way too tired. He just can't do it, man. He's got nothing left. So Dustin Poirier submits him. Oh, that was a great fight, man. That was one of the best fights I've seen. It's such a great fight, man. Yeah, hopefully Michael Chandler will fight someone like Conor McGregor. That'd be a good fight, too. I wonder if Conor McGregor, when he comes back, if he wants to fight Dustin Poirier again. Or either one of those would be great, man. Yeah, Michael Chandler's fighting dirty, too. You guys see that? Those hits to the back of the head? Yeah, that was okay. It's like the NFL. NFL, they're being really strict about the rules. That's what the UFC needs to do. Holy guacamole, dude. Like, Michael Chandler hit Dustin Poirier in the back of the head with a hammer fist like 10 times in a row. He hits him 5 times in a row to the back of the head, these hammer fists, and the ref's like, hey, don't do that. And he looks up at him, and then he just starts doing it again. He hits him with 5 more hammer fists. I mean, that should have been point deducted right there. I mean, there should be no warning for that. Point deducted, man. Those hammer fists, the back of the head. I mean, holy shit, dude. It's amazing Dustin Poirier didn't get knocked out from that. Taking those hammer fists to the back of the head, and then he had his fingers in his mouth. His fish hooking him. What a little dirty boy. Michael Chandler. You dirty fighter. You're a piece of crap, dude. Of course he did adopt 2 kids, so like I guess he's good about that, but what a dirty fight. I guess that everybody kind of fights a little dirty, because the UFC doesn't give a shit, man. Breaking rules, nobody cares. Yeah, those hits to the back of the head, that should have definitely been a point off there. Another thing, too, about the scoring system, of course, I don't really agree with the score. I think more draws should be given out, More rounds should be given out. Like, if there's no clear winner of a round, it should be 10-10, There's a lot of rounds like that where there's just no clear winner, but they just give it to someone who landed, like, one more kick that didn't really hit, And then, of course, 10-9. But, of course, I think 10-8, like Michael Chandler, he got saved by the bell. Like, if there was 5 more seconds in that first round there, he would have got knocked out. I feel like that should be a 10-8 round. Like, if you were about to get knocked out, if you were about to lose, like, to a submission, but you got saved by the bell, I feel like that should be a 10-8 round, And, of course, 10-7, in my opinion, is 10-7 should be, like, if the ref should have stopped it but didn't. The ref just let him die. That should be a 10-7 round, But anyway, that's my criteria, right? They should give out more 10-10s for rounds with no clear winner. 10-9 to the clear winner, 10-8 if it was a dominant round, or if the fighter would have lost, if not for saved by the bell, and then 10-7 if the fighter should have lost but the ref didn't intervene there. That's just my voting, or my what do you call it? Judging criteria. I don't think anyone will ever adopt that, because no one cares about me, Anyway, then of course we had Carlos Esparza versus Zhang Weili, and that was a fun fight too, man. They're all rolling around on the ground there, rolling around doing the wrestling. Just two buff ladies rolling around. If you're into lesbian butch girls rolling around, this is definitely, you got off on this fight. Holy guacamole, man. Two girls rolling around. Of course, Zhang Weili, she just she's improved a lot. Maybe training with Triple C. Yeah, her wrestling looked good, and she's just so strong, because I guess she's got those great Chinese steroids, So, I thought that fight pretty much went how I thought it would go, as a dominant performance, Zhang Weili. But it was a fun fight to watch, just watching him rolling around trying to get top position. Who's gonna, Carlos Esparza? How about to do? I guess she probably just couldn't compete with the strength. The strength of Zhang Weili. Now it makes me wonder, is Rose Namajunas going to come back? If she does come back, I feel like Zhang Weili has improved so much, and Rose's head isn't where it needs to be. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, Larry. Then of course the fight of the night, man. Holy guacamole! I've said guacamole holy guacamole a lot of times during this podcast, because God, this card was just so exciting, man. So exciting. Israel Adesanya versus Pereira. See, this is another thing. That first round, Pereira almost got knocked out. He was basically knocked out in that first round. If one more punch would have landed, if it was only maybe even 1 second or 2 seconds left in that first round, Adesanya would have knocked him out. He would have knocked him out in the first round. But he was out on his feet. Pereira was out on his feet at the end of that first round there. If there was just 1 more second left on the clock, the ref would have stepped in and ended it. But he didn't get the knockout. And then and then of course Adesanya, he did some wrestling too. I thought he might do that, try to win some rounds with wrestling, because Pereira's wrestling just looked fucking terrible. He couldn't. He has no jiu-jitsu, no wrestling at all. So if anyone tries to wrestle him, it kind of makes me wonder if they do rematch. I wonder if Adesanya is just going to go straight pure wrestling, just beat him. He's going to train with Kamaru Usman, and just do some pure wrestling there, And then Pereira comes back 5th round. His coach is like, "You're losing, Rocky. All right, you got nothing left. This is it. Are you a Brazilian boy or not? This guy hates your mother. All right. If you lose this fight, this guy's gonna punch your mom in the cooch. All right, you better go out there, empty the gas tank." And Alex Pereira's like, "Okay, I'll do that." So some people were saying that maybe he took off round 3 and 4. I don't know if he took them off, but he might have not tried to empty his gas tank. Just like Michael Chandler made that mistake. He kind of does that every time. Michael Chandler, he just empties the gas tank first round every time. But I guess Pereira, he knew this would be a 5-round fight. And, man, he just landed. Izzy was backed up against the cage. He landed this one straight, and that kind of dazed Izzy a little bit, and then he landed this uppercut. That uppercut, oh, man, that's when it really started. That was the second hit. Then Izzy's trying to get away. He just keeps landing. That's what I'm talking about. Wait that extra tenth of a second. Pereira almost, I would say more than 50% of those bombs that he threw. He was throwing these bombs, dude. And there were so many of them were landing. I would say maybe at least 2/3 of them were landing. It's goosh, goosh, goosh. And I counted it again. I think Adesanya took 8 hits, eight bombs. Guys, it's amazing he didn't go down sooner, man. That's got to be some concussions, dude. He better take some CBD. He better just be drinking CBD oil, man. Just drink a gallon of that shit, because God, he just took 8 bombs to the head. It's amazing he didn't fall down. That's a good thing. I feel like the ref could have, some people are saying it was an early stoppage. I don't know. I feel like it was kind of a late stoppage, to be honest, because he was out on his feet, and he took a couple more hits to the head. It's oh God, but man, that was a brutal ending to see Adesanya get hit like that, because he just never gets hit, but oh boy, ooh man. That was a brutal knockout, dude. That was a brutal knockout. But I had $10 on Pereira, so fuck yeah, dude. $10. I only won 14 because the odds saying I should have won 20. I should have waited. Oh well. Oh well, life goes on. Yeah. So anyway, I ended up. I lost some bets, but I won some bets. So I ended up. Let's see. I bet 50. I bet 50 and I won 20. So not too bad. Not too bad. What's that? 40%. 40% return on investment. 40%. It's a lot better than my stock market gains. Oh, holy guacamole! This is a long podcast, so I've said guacamole a lot. Don't you guys want to eat some guacamole right now? I think I'm gonna go buy some avocados right now. You know what? Anyway, thanks for listening. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow.